Hey guys, it's Simmy. This is Pro Wrestling Unlimited as we are here on what's today's date? The 13th of January, 2019. No, we're in 2020. January 2020 to talk about everything that went down this week on Monday Night Raw. I thought tonight's Raw was a good Raw. I wouldn't say great, but I can go good. As far as the show for me, it dragged a little at parts, which I'll talk about, but overall it was very easy to watch, and it didn't feel like sometimes you watch a Raw and it's like 3 hours long and it just feels way too long, but this one didn't. This felt just a normal 3 hours. And almost, to me, didn't feel like 3 hours. Probably because usually while I'm watching Raw, I'm also making dinner and getting the kids in bed and everything. And tonight was an easier night as far as getting the kids in bed. So maybe that's why my night just flowed and seemed faster. But enough of that. We got to see who's here with us in the live chat. We've got Delaney K. We've also got Ahmed Yusuf, Broken Dreams, Dalton and Tyler's Reviews, Sinclair Saturday, George John Cox. We've also got Benha, Kevin Jordan, Woken King Slender, and so many more of you to talk about Monday Night Raw. We've also got Jason Dalton and Ruben Rodriguez. And you may ask, hey, I see Jason Dalton in the chat sometimes. I see Ruben Rodriguez in the chat sometimes. How come their names are green? How come they've got badges next to their name? How come they get to use emojis? That is because they are PWUnlimited YouTube members. They have signed up and become members. And as a member, your name is green. As a member, you get to use emojis. You get a badge to show off that you're a member. And also, you get some cool stuff from us, like we're doing a Q&A session in the month of January just for members and Patreon subscribers only. The PWUnlimited Rank It series. You guys not only get every episode all at once for Season 1, but you also got the watch-along portions as well. And there's so much more that's coming for our people over there that are either subscribed as a Patreon member or a YouTube member subscriber. So I want to say thank you to everybody who is a member subscriber here on YouTube, everybody who is a Patreon subscriber, and everybody who's just a normal subscriber here to PWUnlimited. But again, you get them little perks if you're a member subscriber, and plus, that is a better way to directly support us here at PWUnlimited. But with that, we've got Monday Night Raw to talk about from Lexington, Kentucky. So the show kicked off with Randy Orton. And Randy Orton came out and stated, hey, well, they wanted me to come out here and pump up the live crowd, basically. He said, I'm not really going to do that. I'm just going to call out somebody. AJ Styles, get your ass out here. Orton got a good reaction from the crowd. And AJ finally came out, and I've noticed something. When AJ is just himself, when he's only AJ, he's got his blue color scheme for his graphics and all that on the Titantron and his lighting. But when he's with Gallows and Anderson and the OC, then he's got the red ones. I noticed that the last couple weeks. So Styles came out and admitted that Orton was hurt a few weeks ago. He thought Orton was hurt a few weeks ago. Styles didn't think Orton was the favorite to win the Royal Rumble and bragged about hitting the sweetest looking RKO ever last week. It may have even been the most phenomenal one. Styles said that he would throw everyone out of the Royal Rumble, including Orton and Brock Lesnar. They were then interrupted by Drew McIntyre. McIntyre interrupts. McIntyre sarcastically said that he overcame the odds against the conga line last week. McIntyre joked about Orton and Styles having an RKO measuring contest. Then said that his Claymore was bigger. Okay. Orton dropped the mic in disgust of the remark. McIntyre then polled the crowd, because that's his new gimmick, polling the crowd. He asked the crowd if he should join them in the ring and make this a triple threat match. The crowd cheered for the idea, and McIntyre just jumped in and just threw himself into their match. It had been announced for a week, AJ versus Orton. And they're just cool with McIntyre jumping in for a 10-minute match. So almost at the inset of this match, the OC ran down. Luke Gallows pulled Styles from the ring. Then Orton gave Carl Anderson an RKO. And McIntyre took out Gallows with a Claymore kick. They went to break pretty quickly after that. When they came back, Orton set up Styles with a superplex, with McIntyre hanging upside down on the ropes. Then McIntyre sat up and yanked both of them down with a German suplex. Really cool spot. The crowd briefly chanted, "This is awesome." They traded moves on the outside here, and Orton clocked McIntyre with the steel steps. Styles then caught Orton with a draping DDT in the ring. Orton blocked an RKO attempt, but Styles nailed him with a Pele kick. Orton then gave Styles a Styles clash. Only got a 2 off of it, though. Styles used a schoolboy and only got a 2 again. Then Orton gave him an RKO. McIntyre flew in and gave Orton a Claymore kick and then covered Styles to pick up the victory. Yeah, Drew McIntyre wins it here tonight. I thought this was a good little surprise. It was only about 10 minutes long. I was expecting, as everybody was, Orton versus Styles. Add Drew McIntyre. Hell, it was good. I liked it. I do want to let you guys know, if you want to give me your thoughts on tonight's Monday Night Raw, you can do so by texting in to 510-906-1341. Again, the number is 510-906-1341. The number is in the live chat. So then they aired a overly dramatic recap of the angle from last week's main event segment with Big Show's return and everything. They used music that sounded like the theme that played when a Batman rode off on his bike at the end of The Dark Knight. And it was just way overdone. Rollins then hyped up the AOP in their locker room. Rollins said that the world will learn what happens when you don't embrace the vision of the Monday Night Messiah. So next up, we got a 3.5-ish minute match. It was Ricochet versus Mojo. Ricochet took down Rawley and then did a little dance. He danced a couple times during the match, which is weird. Some members of the audience found joy in this and laughed and cheered. Ricochet tossed Rawley over the top rope, then followed up with flip dive. Rawley took over after a shoulder tackle, but Ricochet came back very soon after, hit the recoil, 630 splash, pinned Mojo, like I said, only about 3.5 minutes or so. So in the back, Street Profits did their thing. They're just back to hype guys again. They were running down everything that's expected for tonight. And then Ford tried to get Dawkins' attention. He goes, Dawkins! And he goes, what? I'm filling out my Oscars sheet. And he goes, oh, timely pop culture reference. And so Dawkins throws the sheet away. They say something, I don't remember exactly what. And then he just goes, cue the Queen's music. So we got Charlotte Flair versus Sarah Logan. Match goes about 2 minutes. As soon as the bell rings, or not even before the bell rings, actually, Sarah Logan was, doing her entrance. She jumped up on the turnbuckle. As soon as she jumped down, she was booted in the face by Charlotte Flair. Charlotte locked her completely right on into a figure 8 within a matter of moments. Logan bailed from the ring. Well, she didn't lock in the figure 8. She went for the figure 8. Logan bailed from the ring. Charlotte eventually went after her. They brawled at ringside briefly. Logan seemed to get the better of it and then jump back into the ring. Charlotte then gave her a backbreaker, applied the figure 8, and, in 2 minutes, Sarah Logan tapped out. Also, we did learn earlier today on social media, Sarah Logan has entered herself into the Royal Rumble. So backstage, Kevin Owens was still kind of confused over the rules of the, fist fight. Joe was like, don't worry about rules. You don't need to worry about rules. You know what Joe should have told him? He should have been like, bro, it's just a 6-man last man standing without the 10 count. It's just when the referee thinks you're down, you're out. So they're used to wrecking their opponents. Joe said, we're both used to wrecking our opponents and leaving them in a puddle of their own sick. And that's all that we need to do to win tonight. Big Show then walked up and goes, yo, Kevin, don't worry about the rules. He said, you've got a 7-time, or 7, what did he say? He said he like clenched his fist, and he said he's got like a 7 size 7 fist or something like that, and he's ready to reintroduce it to Seth Rollins. So then this next segment was just weird, but in a really, really good way. I need to take a drink for this one. So, Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman come out. Paul Heyman mocks the fans in Kentucky. He uses a southern accent, says y'all and whatnot. And I think it was King, who is from Memphis, so he knows the South, goes, hey, we ain't that far south. And so Paul Heyman makes fun of the crowd. They chant, you suck. No. I digress. I missed the spot. So he makes fun of the crowd. They boo. He then does his thing. My name is Paul Heyman. And he insults the crowd for doing that. He goes, you hated me. You boo me, but you say my name right along with me. They then start chanting, you suck. So what do? Heyman and Lesnar leave the ring. They then stop at the bottom of the ramp. Heyman told them that Lesnar doesn't suck. They re-entered the ring and the crowd loudly booed they were booing so loud that you almost couldn't hear Heyman on the mic as he introduced Brock Lesnar. Heyman mentioned his spoiler from last week, and they have a bit of a streak going with these spoilers. In fact, it might be the best streak in sports entertainment, and that's because his spoilers were written by Brock. Heyman said Lesnar wouldn't just eke by the Royal Rumble, but he would dominate all 29 men. Heyman said that we shouldn't doubt the spoilers because only the truth spewed from his mouth, and boom, on cue, out came our truth. This is where it got good. Brock was even just, Brock was loving this as well. So Truth thanked Heyman for calling him out. He's like, you called me out here. Thank you. He said Lesnar might be the favorite, but his childhood hero John Cena taught him, never give up. Truth then said, I declare for the first time, the 24/7, 48/7, 7-Eleven, I-95 South, Kentucky champion, declared into the Royal Rumble. Truth then spouts a few cliches, told Heyman that he's going to like seeing him flying over the top rope of being eliminated in the Rumble. And Heyman literally just with his hands down just goes, I'm not in the Rumble. He is. And the crowd starts laughing and Truth goes, oh. Hold on one second. 24/7, 48/7, 7-Eleven, I-95 South, Kentucky champion. Our Truth, not in the Royal Rumble. He goes, my bad. Declare myself not in the Royal Rumble. This is great. Truth admitted, I wasn't really listening to you earlier because you talk too much. You talk, and talk. And Brock is just laughing his ass off as Truth is making fun of how much Heyman talks. He's just like, you talk, and talk, and talk. And you give spoilers, and I don't like spoilers. Heyman goes, you think you're funny, but you're really not. Lesnar then tried calming Heyman down as Heyman was getting overzealous, I guess you could say. Truth then said, you know what? I don't want to go to Sioux Falls City. And Heyman goes, it's Suplex City. Crowd booed that. Lesnar finally got in Truth's face. Truth goes, I got one question for you. What's up? He does the splits. His music plays. He turns around. And, well, Brock kills him. Brock hits him with the clothesline. Gave him a net 5. Grabbed the 24/7 title. Thought maybe Brock was going to pin him and take the title. Brock just chucked the belt down. He then grabs the mic and goes, that's what's up. And then they both just leave, Brock and Heyman. I loved this. R-Truth is gold. WWE better never lose this man because he is great. So after the break, officials are helping Truth to the back when Rawley ran down and booted him. Mojo Rawley just takes out Truth. He pins him and becomes the new 24/7 champion. Crowd boos and Mojo starts yelling, I'm right here. I ain't going nowhere. If someone wants to try and take the title from me, come get me. Okay. Truth will get that back and be a 77-time champion. So earlier tonight, Charlie Caruso apparently approached Bobby Lashley and Lana in the parking lot. Couldn't have been that much earlier because it was already dark. It was when they were arriving at the building, so I guess they get to arrive whenever they want. She talked about their attempted wedding 2 weeks ago. Lana couldn't believe that she wanted to hear about this still. Clips from the wedding aired, and they talked about what happened. Lana came to the conclusion that people like Caruso were just jealous. And tonight, they were going to crush Rusev. We then learned, actually we learned last week, but we learned again, Usos tomorrow night on WWE Backstage. Bobby Lashley and Lana came out as Bobby Lashley was taking on Rusev. This match went almost 15 minutes. Rusev was in full control until Lashley gave him what was supposed to be a thumb to the eye, followed by a spear on the outside. Lashley was in control for a while after the break until Rusev dodged a charge and came back with a clothesline, Samoan drop, and a just phenomenal looking overhead belly to belly. Lashley ducked a Machka kick and hit a German suplex of his own. Rusev then no-sold it and just popped right up and hit that Machka kick. Rusev then went for the accolade, but Lana jumped on the apron to distract him. Lashley chop blocked Rusev, and they both went down after a double clothesline. With both men down, Liv Morgan would then run down to the ring. Well, march down to the ring. Kind of weird because she said last week she would be in Rusev's corner, so I expected her to come out with Rusev. She dared Lana to do something. She got in Lana's face, and then Lana grabbed a drink from a guy in the front row and chucked it in Morgan's face. She then tossed Liv Morgan into the barricade. This distracted Rusev. Rusev was then speared by Bobby Lashley, and, well, Bobby Lashley just pinned him. Jerry Lawler exclaimed, "What the heck just happened?" The crowd was silent for most of this match, which was the only entertainment during the brief moment where the big men traded suplexes. So then we go to the back, and Charlie Caruso goes, "I've got big breaking news." And then she was interrupted. Lana and Lashley come up. Lashley said that he proved that he's the better man over Rusev, so this has got to be over. He said, but they've got a bigger problem now. And Lana goes on and rants about Liv Morgan. Lana then offered a mixed challenge. She said, "I want me and my man Bobby, to take on Liv and Rusev." Lashley goes, "Wait, what are you talking about? I already beat him. I got to beat him again next week and worry about protecting you?" She's like, "I don't need no protecting. I'm a model. I'm a supermodel. I'm a fashionista. I'm a fashion influencer. I can do what I want." And Lashley gets super annoyed with Lana when they walk off. So we go back to ringside. Viking Raiders are coming out, and they issue an open challenge. They say, "New week, same story. Anyone who challenges us gets put down. We've proven our dominance throughout the entire Raw Tag Team division. Tonight, we dare any team to try and stop us. Let the raids begin." And when they came out, they said this was an open challenge. And then they said, "We dare any team to come out here." And freaking King goes, "So this is an open challenge?" No shit it is. Then who would come out? None other than the freaking Singh brothers. Singh brothers would come out. Look like they're about to jump in the ring. They danced the whole way through. They didn't jump in the ring. They jumped back off the apron. Then the Viking Raiders said, "Screw this." They got out of the ring. They attacked them on the outside, threw them in the ring, gave them the Viking experience. I think it was Sunul took the Viking experience and got pinned. Match went like maybe 35 seconds. So backstage, we get... so actually, during this match, Vic Joseph goes, "We've got breaking news from the back. We will go to it as soon as this match is over." Or he goes, "We got breaking news coming to us from the back. We will go to Rusev and Liv Morgan as soon as this match concludes." They go to the back, and there's a pissed off Rusev. He said Lana and Lashley deserve each other, and they were a waste of breath. He said he would fight them. Then, he said he would fight them in whatever challenge they wanted. Liv Morgan then said that she was a living embodiment of Lana's karma. And not only was Karma a goddess, but an honest-to-God bitch. So that was their accepting of the mixed tag team match. And then we got a women's championship contract signing, and this was just weird. And I said the Truth, Brock, Heyman stuff was weird. This was weird, not in a good way. This was weird in a, what was this way? So Lawler was the host, which is fine. And Becky comes out first. Crowd chanted for Becky, as Lawler asked if she had anything to say before Asuka came out. Lynch contemplated saying something, but then shook her head and put the mic down. Asuka and Kairi Sane would then come down. Asuka grabbed the mic and yelled at Lynch in Japanese. And I've been told that Vince loves it when Asuka just starts just going off in Japanese. And just he doesn't know what she says, but he just thinks it's one of the funniest things. And he loves it. And he's howling backstage when she's just spitting off whatever she's saying. It's pretty funny. Vince loves it, and she's just going to keep doing it. And it worked perfectly as a heel, because as a babyface, you want the fans to know what you're saying to your opponent. But as a heel, you could be saying anything. For all we know, she could be calling Becky Lynch a motherfucking fucking bitch blah, 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 in Japanese, and we wouldn't know. You know? But I was told Vince just loves it, and he's just howling backstage when Asuka does it, because the way she delivers it, she says it all super fast and arrogant and cocky and like, you don't know what I'm saying, so I can say anything to you kind of way. So Lawler asked them, please sign the contracts. And Lana, they both go to grab at it, and Asuka snatches it, signs it really quick. She pushes it back over to Becky. Becky looks and signs it. And Becky just says, let the best woman win. And then Asuka blew the mist in her face. Which, actually, before this, really weird. Before any of the contracts were signed, Kairi Sane walked around the desk over to Becky. And Becky stands up. And she starts like poking at Becky with her umbrella. Poke, 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 poke. And Becky like grabs the umbrella. And Kairi goes, oh. Pulls her umbrella. No, Becky yanks the umbrella from her, throws it at ringside, and Kairi just gets out of the ring. Why was that needed? Very weird. So, back to where we were. Becky gets the mist thrown, spit in her face, and Asuka laughs and leaves. Lynch sold this like she was almost half blind. Like more than I've seen someone sell the mist so far. She's moaning and groaning as medical staff are checking on her. They're pouring water in her eyes. Becky's yelling at them. They're telling Becky, let us just clean you up. Let us flush out your eyes. She brushes them off, says, give me a mic. I need a mic. Give me a mic. Give me a mic. Lynch then said, as she's walking around with her eyes closed, she said, when they give you all the money, awards, and acclaim, it's poison for someone who fights for a living. And now her veins were full of it. She said she was happy and content, but Asuka was the most dangerous person she's ever faced. She then said, when somebody puts their hands on me, which nobody did, Asuka literally didn't touch her. She spit in her face. She said, when somebody puts their hands on me, they've awakened an anger and a badness inside of me. They have been trying to hide Asuka from me. And I don't care if I'm walking into a buzzsaw. She said, I'm going to go down swinging at the Rumble, and I'm going to take Asuka down with me. I thought the promo at the end was okay. Becky's delivery was really good. It was just, the whole thing was just weird, and I don't know. It was just the way like because before we've seen people get the mist, and the one referee will check on them, and that's about it. But they had like 5 people checking on Becky. They had like one referee covering her eye kind of so they can pour the water in it. And it's like, was this like extra spicy mist? Because usually you don't give that much attention. But I don't think Paige even got more than like 1 or 2 referees checking on her when she got misted. So, We then learn that next week on Monday Night Raw, Andrade will be defending the United States Championship against Rey Mysterio yet again. But this time, it's in a ladder match. And it's weird that they're doing this match. Because Rey lost last week in trying to capture the championship back. So was this Andrade that said he wanted another match with Rey? Or were they just making the match to make the match to have a ladder match? I don't know. So Zelina Vega told Sarah Schreiber that Andrade was the U.S. champ that the Latinos could be proud of, unlike Mysterio. Andrade was man enough to win the championship in Madison Square Garden, man enough to retain the championship last week, and man enough to rip the mask off of the thief, Rey Mysterio. She said afterwards, Mysterio attacked Andrade and took the U.S. championship. They called the authorities on him. She called Mysterio a disgrace and a bad example to his son Dominic and the rest of his children, which I believe it's only one other daughter. Andrade then fired up and said that he would retain the title next week in a ladder match. We then go to Charlie, who's got Rey Mysterio. Mysterio told Charlie that he was being accused of being a criminal and not being able to represent his people. Mysterio said that it wasn't funny that Vega said that he was a bad example, nor was it funny that Andrade tried to take out one of the brightest talents right now, Humberto Carrillo. Mysterio said he was willing to sacrifice years off of his career next week in a ladder match to regain the United States Championship. Then they go back to King and Vic Joseph, and King goes, "You know, Vic, I've known Rey Mysterio for a very long time, and the one thing that he cherishes the most, or the things that he cherishes the most, is being a family man and a Latino luchador." I'm like, okay, you're building this up to where something's gonna happen with this heritage. Like, they've got to, because they've yanked the mask off of him. They're now calling him a bad Latino, a bad father. So I think something is gonna happen here with the heritage, whether that's mask versus title down the line, mask versus hair. I mean, Andrade's been growing that hair out. So then we get an almost 14-minute match between Aleister Black and Buddy Murphy. Black was in control until the fight went to the outside and Murphy slammed him against the ramp. Murphy tried to move off the barricade and Black kicked his leg out from under him. Black missed a charge, and then Murphy drop kicked him right in the face. Drop kicked him in his face, went right into the post. Vic Joseph called this a steel post, even though it's obviously a video board, which I guess it's a steel post under the video board. Murphy then suplexed him out of the ring onto the barricade. After a break, they were still outside the ring. Black gave Murphy a double foot stomp, used a running drop kick, and drove him into the barricade, and then followed it up with a running knee. Lawler said that these guys should come with a warning label, and the crowd starts chanting, "This is awesome." Black used a series of strikes, then a springboard moonsault for a 2. Murphy tried to roll up while holding the trunks, but the referee caught him. Black then caught him with a knee strike for a near fall. Black went to the top, but Murphy nailed him with a kick. Murphy then went to the top, and Black came up with a running kick of his own, sending Murphy onto the barricade on the outside. They then traded strikes, but Murphy kicked Black in the gut as he came off the ropes with another moonsault attempt. Murphy followed this up with a Murphy's Law, but Black just barely in time got his foot on the ropes to break the count. Black then hoisted Murphy up on his knee and nailed him with a black mass to pick up the victory in yet another phenomenal match between these two. Another great match. So this is the third one they've done. I loved the match, and I'd still say that out of the 3, this was probably the weakest of the 3, but it was still just like I said, phenomenal, great. So then we learned that Brock Lesnar will be on the show next week, and the mixed tag team match is 100% official. So then Eric Rowan came down to take on a jobber, essentially. Before the match started, we see Buddy Murphy looking all sad and dejected at ringside, just sitting up against the barricade. Charlie Caruso tried to get a word with him, and he goes, "Please, Charlie, not now." She goes, "Okay, I'll give you your space." Well, she doesn't say that, but she basically says, "Okay." I think she says, like, "I'm sorry" or something, like taps his leg. So Rowan quickly wins with the claw slam. He goes to, I guess, show the jobber what's in his case, or his cage. And then he puts his hand in the cage, and he goes to grab whatever's in there, and he yanks his hand out really fast. His hand's bleeding, so whatever's in there bit him. And the match goes like a minute and a half. He wins with the claw slam. It's whatever. So then we get Seth Rollins in the AOP against Big Show, Kevin Owens, and Samoa Joe. Before we get into that, we got a couple text messages. This one says, no, that's not, I don't even know what that is. This one here says, not Raw related, but just curious when. Okay, I don't know about Ty's contract situation. And this one says, will the mixed challenge end that Bobby Lana, what? Oh, so this person's asking if this is final, if the mixed tag team match next week is going to be like the big blow off to all the Bobby Lashley Rusev stuff. I hope. So we go into this and it's a fist fight. What is a fist fight, you may ask? Well, it's basically a last man standing match, but without the 10 count. No disqualification, no pinfall, no submission, no countouts. All you got to do is knock out your opponent enough to where the referee thinks that they can no longer continue. And once all three members of one team are knocked out, you win. It's Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, and Big Show all came. No, Big Show comes out first. And as Big Show's making his way down to the ring, Rollins and AOP jump him. Owens and Joe then run down with kendo sticks to make the save. Ref starts the match, and because, well, it's basically last man standing, no DQ, you don't have to get in the ring. You just start the match. There's two referees, too. So Show and Rollins entered the ring. Show attacked Rollins with a kendo stick and then just snapped it in half. Owens and Joe fought the AOP on the outside. There was then a wild spot where Kevin Owens used the stage as the half pipe that it is. He runs and runs and runs all the way across the stage. As he gets about 3/4 of the way across, he runs up the video board, the stage, the half pipe, and he uses that he runs up it, and then he pushes himself off and crashes onto everybody on this side of the stage. It was fucking phenomenal. I think that was great, and it's the first time that somebody has used this stage how it should be used, like a skateboard ramp. Where's Darby Allin? Anyways, so Joe takes out the AOP as well. When he jumps off the stage, he just did a regular dive. I think, yeah, he actually, no, it wasn't a regular dive. He sent on to Razor through a table, I think it was. I think it was Razor. Rollins in the ring fell out, and he saw Buddy Murphy sitting at ringside, and he goes, "Hey, help me." And I'm like, well, that's kind of weird. I forgot Buddy Murphy was still out there. So Big Show chokeslammed Rollins in the middle of the ring, which set up for, he was going for the KO punch. When all of a sudden, Buddy Murphy would jump in the ring and give Big Show a low blow. Rollins and Murphy then pushed Big Show through a table. AOP continued to brawl with Joe and Owens near the announce table. AOP placed Joe on the announce table and slammed Owens on top of him, sending them both through the table. Rollins then tried a stomp, but Show avoided it and knocked Murphy out of the ring. With Rollins down, Show began climbing the top rope, but AOP grabbed him and powerbombed him. Looked like Show was going to go for a Vader bomb. The four heels, AOP, Seth Rollins, and Buddy Murphy, all surrounded the Big Show as the crowd chanted, "Let's go Big Show." Rollins gave him a curb stomp, and the referee called for the bell, saying he's out. The other two guys are out. Rollins and the AOP win. On commentary, they put over huge that it looks like Buddy Murphy is now the latest man to join Seth Rollins. He is now one of Seth Rollins', I guess you can call him, disciples. So, we'll see. Looks like Buddy Murphy is now with Seth Rollins in the AOP. How big is this group going to get, is my question. But I thought, for all things considered, the match itself seemed quick. How long was it? 5 minutes, yeah. It was a quick match. I expected it to be a little bit longer, maybe. I expected that, like, maybe one guy from the AOP get knocked out before all the other three were knocked out. No. This is like Survivor Series when you just run roughshod and your team just blows through. So, that was Monday Night Raw. Got a couple more text messages here, actually, before we do wrap things up. I got two people asking, what do you think's inside Eric Rowan's cage? I don't know, a gremlin. And this one says, why was Murphy a part of Rollins' match? Are we getting Black and Joe and Owens to team up? Maybe. But at the same time, Aleister Black has beat Buddy Murphy 3 times. They don't need to go to it again. They've done 3 phenomenal matches. Black can move on. But here's the thing, which is very, very interesting. So we know that Paul Heyman is really high on both Aleister Black and Buddy Murphy. The reason these two guys were working together is because, well, he wanted both men to prove to Vince or whatever that they're worth giving a shot to. And they both proved that in all 3 matches. But in all 3 matches, Aleister Black went over. So Aleister Black gets the momentum of the victory. Buddy Murphy doesn't lose much because how good the matches are, but then in the end, Buddy Murphy gets added to the main event program on Monday Night Raw. So it's a win-win. Aleister Black has got momentum from 3 big victories, but Buddy Murphy is now aligned with Seth Rollins in the main event picture. So this is very interesting to see how this all does go. But with that, I do want to say thank you guys for joining me here live to talk about Monday Night Raw. I want to say thank you to everybody who watches later right here on YouTube and listens on podcast services all around the world like iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, Google Play Music, iHeartRadio, and so much more. We will be live again tomorrow night, myself and Nick. So with that, I want to say thank you guys and have a good night.